What is going on? This is episode numero dos of Mutant in the Mouth. This is the second week in a row. Sunday, we did it, Thursday last week, right?
Yeah.
And now we're doing it Sunday this week. So this is shocker that we're doing back-to-back episodes, but I don't know, we're kind of on a roll. So we said, why not just fucking keep it going, right?
Keep going, baby. People love it.
I know, man. Well, it's 4:00 over. I keep forgetting. We talked today for a brief moment on the phone, and you're like, remember it's 4:00 here, and I'm like, fuck.
I know you're good for 7. I'm like, well, yeah, but it'll be 4 my time.
Dude, I can't. I keep forgetting you're in fucking Vegas because you were in Jersey, Florida, and then Vegas, and we talked about that the last time on the podcast. But I still forget that you're in Vegas because I'm so used to you being on the same time zone that it's throwing me the fuck off.
Yeah, now just remember, I'm 3 hours behind.
I know. It's still it won't set in for probably another couple months because it was because there was no talk about you moving prior.
I know. I kind of just did it, bro.
Yeah. So since it was so sudden, there's no like my brain doesn't know how to react to it. It's still like a new wound.
It was just like, hey, let's move to Vegas.
No, it was more like, let's go on vacation to Vegas and never leave. It was that's what it was like.
That flight back sounds really horrible. We're gonna stay.
Yeah, let's save the $300 flight back, and let's just buy a house.
Let's buy a house
and a truck.
We can just have fun. It's Vegas.
Hey, dude. So what's been going on over there this week? Anything? Any new fun, exciting shit?
Not really. Maria left to go back to Canada for a couple of weeks. So
she was there has been there since before you went to Vegas.
Yeah, she came here like a week before we went to Vegas to be on Flex's podcast.
And that was when? Shit, that was
it was like 8 weeks out. So she was here for like 2 months, and then basically she stayed till after New Year's. So 10 weeks, I'd say, total.
Okay. And where does she live in Canada? What part?
Burlington.
Okay. Is there a time difference there? I actually don't know.
Yeah, they're the same time as you. They're 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what's the plan? She goes there for is it like running a cycle? Time on, time off?
Well,
she's there for 10 weeks. She goes home for 10 weeks.
No, when she comes back, she's staying.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
She's fucking taking the sword and going, hush, hush.
She's getting rid of that life in Canada and starting fresh in Vegas.
Putting that stake in the ground, bro. Good for her.
So then when she comes back, she'll basically pretty much start prep for her shows because she's going to compete this year. So that's the goal anyway.
Is she like one of the ones that like keeps it like hush hush, or does she know what she's going to do, or does she care if anybody knows?
Well, if she did care, I mean, it's out now.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Maria.
No, I don't
hear first.
Hush hush. I just think because she was a little worried about going back to Canada, a little stressed, get rid of her life and coming back. She was more focused on that. But she's got Mark Anthony coaching her, so they're going to do a little qualifier, I think, in June, and the goal for her is to do USA's.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah. What's crazy is I think I thought and I think other people did too. I thought she was a pro for a while.
Everyone thinks she's a pro because
I thought she was a pro. She does. So I thought she was a pro, and I think you told me she wasn't a pro. I think it was.
Yeah,
I made a comment.
She did the amateur Olympia last year.
Mm-hmm.
Missed the pro card by 1 point.
That's crazy.
They told her she had the best front in the show, but from the back she was a little off, a little soft.
And that was the last show she's done.
I think she tried to do one more after, but mentally, I don't think she was kind of burnt out by that point. So.
Yeah.
But that was like the last one. I think she was, really good for her.
Now, have you been around her when she was dieting?
Nope.
Huh?
Nope.
Because listen to me. I have been. I know. Listen. I have no problem with women. There's nothing negative to say. But for somebody who's been in the industry and might have dated a few women that competed, women, I'm not saying guys aren't, but I have not been with one female that when she dieted, she wasn't a fucking nightmare.
So
Nightmare.
She told me she's rough in prep a little bit.
Oh,
so
that's gonna be like fucking
no.
oil
So
and vinegar.
Here was the thing. So the whole time, she's with me the last 8 weeks for the Olympia. She's like, I'm really surprised at how well you are. Like you're very chill and relaxed. And I'm like, take notes. Just take notes.
Get out the pad.
Well, and I also told her, I said, look, if this was me last year, I'd probably be fucking a maniac. I said, well, you have to realize you can only control what you can control.
Yeah.
And the final end result isn't up to you. You just come in your best and be happy and enjoy the process, and whatever happens, happens.
What's crazy is there was a few times earlier in my career when I started bodybuilding, and it was more so early on in my amateur career. I don't even think really when I was a pro, because I think when I was a pro, it became a little easier because I didn't have to make that weight limit. But there was a few times, my mom will fucking attest to this. I used to call my mom at the beginning of prep. I mean, because I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm going to say I'm sorry now. Because for some reason, bro, my mom was the only fucking human being that would set me the fuck off when I was dieting.
Yes, bro.
And listen, I can't explain. You can ask me now. I don't know why. It was just like, it was like the things she would say and how she would set them. And it was like my mom, I would be eating a fucking meal around the family, and my mom would have this like one thing. She would be like, because I like when you're dieting, you eat fast. If you're hungry, you eat But and my mom would always go, "Did you even taste that?" And I would be like, "Can I just eat my fucking food?" And then finally, like towards the end of my career, I snapped at her, and my dad goes, he's been doing this for how long, and you never leave him the fuck alone. And I was like, thank God somebody fucking finally backed me up.
Dude, my mother is the same exact way.
It's crazy.
We'll FaceTime, and she's the only one that can say anything and it'll set me up. If someone else said it, I wouldn't care. If she says it, and honestly, I love her to death. You know what? I'll just hang up.
I know you do.
I'll just click.
Oh, you would hang up on her?
Yeah. And then I'll call her back the next day. Like,
I'm sorry.
No, I just call her back and like nothing ever happened. I'm like, what's up, Mom? How are you?
Now, did she let that fly?
She knows now. If I hang up, she's like, oh, he'll call me tomorrow.
Yeah, but is that because does she let that the first time that happened, she definitely didn't just let that go?
Oh no, she would call me back and I wouldn't answer.
Okay, so when did that start? When did that start, and when did that start being okay? Meaning, when did you actually start doing that?
When I moved away, when I moved to Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, because I lived at home, so if she said something that irritated me, I would go run in my room.
Lock your door.
Now,
you're not coming in.
She pisses me off. I click. Goodbye.
That's your door. That's your door. The end button became your door.
Yep.
Shut my door, Ma.
I'll just be like, I gotta go. Bye. Hang up.
That's fucking hilarious. And it's crazy because your mom seems so sweet, right? And it's the same thing. My mom, I would do like, she is the most amazing woman on this planet. But
yeah,
when I diet, I want to rip her throat out.
Yeah, bro.
And I don't know why. There's no reasoning behind it.
You know what it is? Like, and I say this a lot. My mother is like, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
But she's also the only person that knows how to get under my skin like nobody else.
Yeah.
And she knows. Like, I'll ask her, like, for example, this prep. I said, Mom, when I start this prep, do not ask me if I'm practicing my posing. Do not ask me if I'm practicing a routine. I don't want to hear it. Not so. What does she do? She'll like, you practice posing, and I would just click instantly.
Oh, poor mom.
Click.
Poor
But,
mom.
but it's just, but you know what it is? My mother is a sweetheart, but it's the tone.
Yeah.
She has like this tone that will just set you off.
It like cuts through your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when I'm out of prep, it still cuts through me, but I can handle it. But in prep, I'm just like, oh my God. And if somebody else was to say it, I'd be like, yeah, I'm good.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was, it's my mother, man.
But so I would apologize to my mother, but you know, I've been married, and you know, a lot of the girls that a lot of the girls, you know, the girls that I've been with, that have competed, and I can tell you firsthand, man, the girls versus at least me, and I think it's different for me because I'm high strung, and dieting relaxes me, but then this is what ends up happening when I diet, because I'm always up here, right? You know me, I'm fucking go 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 go. But when I diet, especially when I'm like 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, that fucking go, 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 I like drop it into third gear, right? And then I get quiet. Not I don't become a dick. I don't become an asshole. I just become quiet. But then what happens is I start getting to what's wrong. Why are you so quiet? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just quiet. What did I do? Why are you quiet? And I'm like, though I can't not now. I can't just be quiet. So now it's they don't believe that nothing's wrong, not wrong. So it becomes a constant fucking, well, you're lying to me because you're different. Well, I know, bitch, because I'm 6 weeks out from a show.
I am different, right?
Different. But other than that, I'm fine. Right now I'm getting mad because you're not leaving me the fuck alone. Yeah. So if you leave me alone, then everything will be fine.
What's funny is Maria never asked me that.
What's wrong?
No, she would just look at me and be like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, I'm just tired. And she'd be like, okay. And then we would like sit on the couch and put a movie on or something. Then I'd fall asleep. She was very good at that. I will say that. She never asked me what was wrong. She would just be like, are you good?
Yeah. I've had women DM me and like ask about advice about how to handle their guy, because like literally like my relationship is going to end. I don't know what to do. And my advice is always listen and believe when they tell you, like if you ask them and they give you an answer, believe them.
Just let it go.
That's the problem. A lot of times is they go, what's wrong? We say nothing and they don't believe us. And that then turns into a fucking fight.
Yes.
And women, I'm not saying, listen, guys are not saints, but a lot of women don't understand that. And if they did, they would fucking fix a lot of the relationship problems.
Yeah, it's true. When you're like 4 to 6 weeks out, the gear switches and we're in chill mode for the rest of the day. When we say we're tired, that's it. Let it be.
Me and Nick will also be starting a relationship podcast called
Save Your Relationship.
Called Human in the Heart.
Human.
Even if it's not funny, I found it funny. So
I thought it was funny.
So no, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, my mom was the culprit of my pissed offness majority of the time.
Moms are the trigger.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be interested to see. And now is she a foodie? Like is she like I've had girlfriends that like love going out to eat and like her food, like just love having that cheat meal or like love good food. Is she like, I don't really care, or like she likes good fucking food?
Who, Maria?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a foodie, bro.
So.
But here's the cool thing: she's a foodie. But when I'm in the zone, she'll get on a meal plan and stick with it. But like when I was done the Olympia, when I said, "Hey, you want to go get something to eat?" Never once did she say no. She said,
was like me. She was like, me and you, bitch.
She's like, I've been waiting for this moment.
So she jumped on board with you when you were doing
Yeah, bro.
Your
When I
diet.
say she was extremely supportive, like that's what it was. Like when I ate, like, but and I also told her, I said, look, until I'm 2 weeks out, because that's when like I want to eat a little bit. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have to eat. You know, you can eat what you want. So a couple times she had Chipotle, a couple times she got this, but normally she would just kind of when I ate, she ate. When I trained, she would like she stayed on task with me.
But that makes it fun for like her too, because then when you guys are done, you like if she stayed on a plan for a little bit or didn't eat or didn't cheat for a period of time, then what happens is for couples that are listening, maybe for somebody that isn't that in a relationship that doesn't compete, if you actually stay on a plan, even if it's not super strict, but just somewhat of a plan, whether it's just maybe follow something and just not have a cheat meal or just maybe just eat consistently and just not eat garbage, what happens is the end result, you and your partner end up going out and it becomes enjoyable for both of you because
Exactly.
you both get a way different enjoyment out of it because
Exactly.
you
Like when we
both
both ate after I was done competing, it was fun.
yeah
You know, she
because you
enjoyed it, I enjoyed it,
yeah
and then like we would structure it so like I would stay on a good diet for like 3 to 4 days straight, and then we would take a day where we went out, had some breakfast, and had a nice dinner, and then kind of repeat that cycle.
that's
And that
awesome
was a way for me to also perfect the rebound without fucking up too hard.
yeah.
And I would be strict. Like it would be whatever Matt diet was that he gave me, and then I'd pig out for a day. Then my weight would come back down, and then I'd go. And my body just responded really well to that.
Well, I don't know, I don't think I was on Instagram today. You posted a recent photo. Was it a recent photo that you just posted with like a back double and a front double?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was yesterday.
Okay, because I looked at that and I went, holy fuck.
Yeah, I'm 268 right now.
What were you? I mean, listen. I don't know if you want to say. I know everybody fucking hides their weight and they lie about it. But what roundabout weight were you the day of the Olympia?
No, I don't care. I was 255 on stage.
255 on stage.
Yeah.
What were you before water and diuretics?
Well, I mean,
Like when
I
I say
got
water
to
diuretics, like what were you before you guys started manipulating saltwater
my
diuretics? Like any of that?
lowest weight was 252, I think.
Okay.
And then after the carb up and all that, like I woke up Friday morning. I woke up. I think it was like 253 or something.
Okay.
And then I checked my weight after every meal. And then right before the last one I ate, I was like 255.2.
Okay, because I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound pretty fucking ignorant, but because the Olympia was what not even a month ago, not even a month ago.
Not even almost 4 weeks.
Based on
Yeah.
the pictures that I just saw, I don't think you could get down to the 255 again for a stage.
No, and I agree.
Because you look 268 right now.
Yeah, well,
First of all, it looks more streamlined, which blew me away.
and I'm I'm 15 pounds up pretty much.
Okay, and you're a bigger, which then questioned to me, were you just super flat for the Olympia? Because
I
at
I don't think so.
268 a month
I
late,
was
no. I don't think you were. But what I'm saying
yeah.
is that think about logic now. How are you 15 pounds up and look like fucking that, dude? I was like, holy shit, it's crazy.
And that we cleared out, man. Like I wasn't really on anything at all. Like I was just training, sticking to a diet,
Yeah.
and eating when I wanted, really.
And what about now? Are you on a more structured plan?
Well, yeah. Now that Maria's not here, what the fuck? Who am I gonna go out to eat with?
That's true. I don't know if you're a closet
It's
fucking.
I'm a type where I love to go out to eat, but I will never do it alone.
Okay, but are you one of the fucking DoorDash motherfuckers? Because I don't do so. I
No,
don't
I will
I
never.
don't even have DoorDash on my phone.
I will
To be
stick to a
honest with you.
structured meal plan all day long before I ever DoorDash a fucking meal.
Really?
Yeah, I won't do it. I will 100% feel like a true fat fuck the day I DoorDash.
Yeah, I haven't DoorDashed ever, and I think I tried to Uber Eats once when I had buddies over, and
Yeah.
it said they don't Uber Eats doesn't deliver to your location. Yeah.
Well, see, that's different. If you have people over, okay, I might do it then.
Well,
But
because you've been to my house, right? I'm trying to get my microphone straightened out. It's all a little
you live
cocked
in
out.
fucking the woods.
Easy, easy.
You ever seen that movie Into the Woods? That's where you live.
Why? No. What is it?
It's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Is it good?
No, that movie was kind of trash, but it was all right.
More like wrong. You ever seen the movie Wrong Turn?
Horrible, bro. That movie's so bad.
You know what I saw, and I didn't look or watch or read into, because I was wondering if you saw it, because I know some of the backstory. But there was a lot of posts I saw. I don't know if it was yesterday, today, or combination of the two. There's been a lot of Kalaman Gavra. I've always fucking screwed up his last
Alan
name.
Van Moger?
Yeah. Colin Von Moger. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of posts regarding him, and things he was saying regarding post all this, the incidents that's happened. He was talking a lot about mental health.
Yeah.
And one of the things that it made me think about, I think a lot of people in this industry, two things. This is my trigger some people, but it is what it is. I think a lot of people I do suffer from mental health, but I also do think a lot of people who think they suffer from mental health are just people that are going through normal day-to-day emotions and just don't know how to deal with them.
Correct.
I think those are two very separate different things. And I think a lot of people put a simple stress on a saying I have a mental problem, or I have anxiety, or I think they put like something very simple.
Yeah.
And everybody says, oh, it's mental illness, or and I think it's used a lot of times as a crutch, not always, but a lot. And one thing I was thinking about today, because I saw something about Column, and I started thinking about this, because I was like, for me, right, in the position that I'm in, and the position that I was in coming up as a bodybuilder, right? People who watch bodybuilding, they think that bodybuilders are celebrities. And they think we're celebrities because they're watching the sport in which they idolize certain people. So in their mind, they put us on a pyramid or on a totem pole, where we don't put ourselves. Because I mean, listen, do some people walk around fucking cocky? And I'm sure me and you could sit here and name people that we know in the industry that walk around like they're bigger than they really are. And what I mean by that is that in the grand scheme of life, right? I think bodybuilding, I think we're bubblegum wrappers in a bubblegum factory. Bodybuilding as a whole is not very big, and I think the IFBB and the NPC as a community has done a great job to grow the sport. But in the grand scheme of things, bodybuilding is just not a big fucking sport, right?
No,
But people do idolize us, and I think it's awesome. And if they didn't put us on the totem pole that they do, right, we wouldn't have the platform to do the things that we do. But I was thinking about it because for me, I remember when me and you spoke after last year, and you talked to me about going into a dark place after the Olympia. And I remember being like, I don't understand how somebody that could be at the top of their game could go into a dark place. But then the other day, I was literally just doing shit around my house, and I was like, it has to be different, because for me, when I started bodybuilding, I was a nobody. I kind of sucked. And I don't think I was ever a great bodybuilder. But I think I did pretty good. I think I had a good career. But at no point in my career, I really never was at a point where I had everything to lose, because most of my career, I had everything to gain, because my entire career, I had everything stacked against me, right? Like, no, I had most people think you're too small to be a bodybuilder. You're too this, you're too that. Now, you, on the other hand, you turned pro and won a pro show and moved on to the Olympia so fast that maybe earlier on in your amateur career, you might have had some of those things said to you, right? But let's talk about the career from the time you were on the national stage through your pro career. That trajectory of that was something that most people have never seen in their life, right? But that entire time, you had a lot to lose. One
Listen,
wrong move could have made your career just go like this.
the main issue, which it serves a great purpose, but can also serve a great non-good purpose, is social media. So when I turned pro, I did Chicago Pro. I got fourth. Nothing, you know, I was happy. I was cool. Technically pro debut, whatever, fine. And then I started prepping for New York. Talked a bunch of shit. Couldn't wait to do the show. Said I was going to win it. And then I won it. And then people said it was an easy lineup. It wasn't a good showing. Okay. So we decided to do the Arnold. When we started prepping for that, I did the same thing. Said I'm gonna win this shit. What did I do? I won. And then I said, I guarantee I'll be top 5 at Olympia. What did I do? I got top 5. Now, after the Arnold, I think winning that, I started to get a lot of self-induced pressure on myself to succeed at a higher level. And then the expectations that I had on me for, so the social media made things 10 times worse. So then after I got 5th at Olympia, I wanted to do the Arnold because I thought to myself, I somehow need to stay relevant. I have to keep going. When the smart decision mentally is, nah, dude, like you're done. Let's take a break. But because of the expectation, the self-induced pressure, and everyone's like, oh, do the Arnold and reclaim your title, you can do this and that. And it starts to fuck with you really, really bad. And because of how quick the success was, which I never, you know, had the time to really grasp and sit down and take in everything. I still haven't, bro. Like I'm 3rd in the world, my 2nd year pro. I moved on to the next goal. You know, it's a good and bad thing. But because of that, it obviously developed a lot of issues. You know, yeah. Me and Matt, you know, broke up. And I went into a very dark, I moved, which I will be honest and say that was probably a very emotional decision I made. I shouldn't have done it. I don't regret it, but probably shouldn't have done it. It led me to working with somebody else that I knew wasn't right for me. Nothing personal against him. He's a great coach. Nothing felt right, you know? And then the beginning of me and Maria's relationship, we both had our own issues, but I was such in a dark place that it affected our relationship in the very beginning. Luckily, she stuck it out. And other decisions got made down this road, you know, with, you know, me and Hostile and everything else. And once me and Matt got back together, and then once Maria came back down to Tampa before we left to go to Vegas, and I can't even tell you why coming here was such a big ass weight lifted off my shoulder. But the moment we landed, it was just like, I don't know why.
I remember when I saw you there, I'm like, you like it here? You're like, bro, I fucking love it here.
And I can't tell you why. I really can't.
Yeah.
But, you know, what kept affecting me more as I'm trying to mentally get back to the person that I was something would always happen. Like then you get videos made about you, you know, a bunch of false information. Some are true, but 90% of it false. Yeah. And then you read all the comments, and now you feel everybody's turned against you, but nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes, right? Yeah. They only know what goes on from what they hear. And I've always been the person to not open my fucking mouth because I'm not the type of person to fight back on social media. Like I'm a grown fucking man. If we have a problem, you can call me on the phone or we can talk in person. That's how it's always been. So I just stuck to what I always knew how to do, which was put my head down and just work my ass off and come back better. And that's just really what I did. You know, once me and Matt found that groove again, me and Marie's relationship did a complete 180. I was back to me times 2 and better. you know, and the only thing I can really say to people is you need to always make decisions that are best for you, not what people think. You know, it doesn't matter what Joe Schmo says, doesn't matter who this person says. If you know in your heart to heart, the decisions that you make are what's best for you, you need to remember that and keep that no matter what shit gets said about you.
Now, being in a shit place, what was the thing that got you out of the shit place? Because being in the shit place, reading the comments, seeing the videos made about you, seeing the false information, seeing the things people are saying, seeing the interviews done. At what point is the turning point where you get out of your own way and start moving upwards and not backwards, or forwards and not backwards? Like, is there a point that you remember going, all right, like this is ridiculous?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, it was coming here.
Yeah. So
You know,
that
really,
so for that, so it wasn't just like off season. You're talking this was off season into prep for the Olympia.
bro, I didn't even think I was going to make it to the Olympia. I almost backed out.
And when you say, and I'm not trying to get super dark, but you know,
Go
when we
ahead.
talk about Colin was obviously dealing with, listen, you don't jump out a fucking window if you ain't in a dark place. So, you know, when we say dark places, and I've used this analogy before when people say, like, you know, we've all made, you know, sideways comments, dumb comments, like, oh God, I just want to fucking blow my brains out. Like, we say it in jest, right? We don't really mean it. But the difference is that the people that say that and know the consequences, and the people that say it and don't really understand the consequence, are the people that I think you have to worry about, right?
Yeah,
And like I've been, I'm different in the fact that comments really never get under my skin. I've never been one to ever let any of that stuff bother me. Comments, people be like, oh, well, you comment back. And I'm like, well, yeah, if I'm taking a poop and I'm
and I'm
reading
scrolling through.
comments, yeah, like sometimes I get bored and fucking my fucking poopy thumbs want to fucking, you know, comment back. So it's like, relax, you know.
Yeah,
But in the grand scheme of things, like, comments really have never bothered me. Anything anybody's ever said has never bothered me, because I've always been, and people can say what they want, but this is true. And people that know me growing up can all attest to this. People that know me in high school and in college, I was always the guy that fucking was the small guy, the short guy, the little guy, the like, you know, the engine that could, you know, I think he can, underdog. So, you know, I always had that going against me. So negative shit never affected me. But I think it's different when somebody like you, somebody like Colin, right? Who Colin was one of the first fucking fitness guys
yeah.
that, like, influencer type of dudes, that bodybuilder, wasn't a bodybuilder, but was like all these different things molded into like this one human fucking clay of a Greek looking god. Like, he was the first like real motherfucker that, like, I think a lot of people knew. Um, and to see somebody at the top of their game, um, be in such a dark place, it makes you think. I mean, and I was having a conversation with a friend today, and I'm like, you know, look at all the actors and the rock singers and the people that commit suicide, at, you know, that are, you know, fucking billionaires, millionaires, have everything in the world and have all this money, and you know, you think they're so happy, and they're not, right? So, and the reason why I think it's unique, with me bringing it up to you, is because I had different stresses, but my stresses weren't from being overwhelmed with the stress of people expectations of me being so high, because people's expectations were never super high of me. So,
Yeah.
you know, when I was never the greatest athlete, or was never the superstar of the team, or was never, you know, the most athletic kid in the world, you know, your expectations are never really above subpar. But when you're somebody like yourself, when you're somebody like Colin, and you put yourself in a league of their own, I believe that those stresses, I think, could be sometimes be even worse.
Agreed.
You know, so
When,
I,
when,
you
when, when me and Matt got back together, that was like a huge relief for me. That was the only coach I've ever fully trusted. So that was a nice sense of relief. Now, I give also Maria a lot of credit as well, because as supportive as she was to make sure, like, not that I need to anyone to check on me to make sure my A game, but she was always there to make sure the job was getting done. But she also allowed me to feel normal as well during this prep, which I think benefited. Like, because we were on off days, we didn't sit around. We went out, we did things. My mind was always occupied, and I think that played a really big role in being successful in this prep this year.
So would it be fair to say to some people out there, because we've talked about it on Bro Chat, and we've had fucking discussions and arguments about it, right?
Yeah.
About having some sort of normalcy in bodybuilding, and it does being your best mean being so zoned in and focused that nothing else matters, or can you be your best and have balance?
I used to be the other person.
You did, because that's why I brought it up. You used to say no, it's
And
all
I think,
fucking in, and that's it.
and now I think you can. You just, you know what it is? It's a mind fuck, right? When you know you have to go out of your normal day, you think it's gonna screw everything up. Now you're like, oh, I gotta pack meals, I gotta do this, not right. But at the end of the day, your day is still the same.
Yeah.
If anything, you're more active, which means your body's gonna change even more. In my opinion, I mean, I got a house, I bought a new car, I moved 7 weeks out from the fucking prep. If that was me last year, I'd have been like, get away from me.
Yeah.
And Marie would say, I was so chill. I was like, yeah, this one looks nice. Let's go check this house out. One night after the gym, I said, let's go to the dealership, buy a car. We were there for 2 hours. I was so chill. She was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Sidebar. Not everybody can just go, hey, babe, let's go buy a house. Hey, babe, let's go to the dealership and buy a car. And I just want to let everybody know that even though we're in a conversation about like a dark thing, you're like, well, I said on a Saturday, babe, let's go buy a house. And on Monday, I was like, hey, babe, let's go buy a truck. Let's go to the dealership. Like that's.
I know. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
But it's okay. Like, now on a training day, I was very like, I train. I'm done. On an off day, if she was like, hey, let's go do something. Okay, cool. I would pack like 2 to 3 meals. We would go out for the day, come home, put on a movie at night, and then the day's over. Next day, back on train. Like, the days would go by fast, and my mind would be occupied. Now, look, there's some people out there that need to have that structured tunnel vision to be successful, and that's okay. But I have learned you can balance shit and be better. You can do it.
Mentally better too, which is a huge thing.
It's so uncomparable.
Yeah.
Mentally from last year to this year.
And I'm gonna say
even post show this year, like I wouldn't say I've been eating like a fat fuck, but when I went out to eat, I fucking ate, bro.
Yeah.
And get back on a structure, and it wouldn't bother, it wouldn't affect me. Like last year after the Olympia, I wanted to maintain being lean so hard, it stressed me out even more.
Was it because you thought, because of where you placed, you thought you were more under a more of like a watch and more under scrutiny than before because of where you were in your career? You were the young guy coming up, took fifth, like up and comer, like doing the Arnold Classic. Like, do you think you're under more of a microscope, and maybe that's why you felt like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that plays a role for sure.
See, and one thing that I think what people need to realize too, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, because I mean, am I out of line to say that if there's, let's say there's 1,000 people, right? Let's just say let's say 1,000 is like the new million, right?
Yeah.
And 1,000 people watch the podcast. What percent out of the 1,000 people, would you say a majority of them are probably amateurs versus pros because there's more amateurs than pros. So would you say it was like an 70-30, a 70-30, 80-20 split amateur pro? Because there's not more pros that are going to listen to us over amateur because there's just more NPC amateurs out there, right, than there are IFBB pros.
Oh,
Right. So my point is this: in lieu of what you were saying, right? People also have to understand that are doing this that the mass majority of people that we're talking to, this is your hobby. Okay. And if you're taking your hobby more serious than your job, then that's a fucking problem. Okay. If you're taking a hobby that's not making you any fucking income and is costing you money for suits, for travel, for tan, for posing trunks, for food, for drugs, for whether it's even over the counter protein, glutamine, whatever, and you're putting more time and effort into that than what actually is paying your bills, that's a huge fucking problem.
Big problem. I agree.
And you should be able, in that realm of an amateur, be able to understand that you need to find more balance in that, being that it's a hobby. Now, people can sit here and argue, well, how would you ever get to where you got to if you weren't zoned in? Well, I can sit there and be like, I was the most zoned in motherfucker in the world. And Dave Palumbo, who did my diet back then, will tell you, but I was also working 40 plus hours a week at a job.
Yeah.
I was also waking up at crazy fucking hours to get my cardio in. I was also, yeah, I wasn't fucking now. And I'm not saying this is a negative because listen, there are a lot of fucking people out there that personal train that make a lot of money that are some of the best personal trainers that I know. Jose Raymond, one of the best personal trainers out there. He's a personal trainer. He's been a personal trainer since I've known him, right? But a lot of bodybuilders call themselves personal trainers and give themselves a job title because they don't want to feel like people look at them like lazy and they don't have a job. But that's not a real job. And if you're doing this even as a pro and it's not bringing you income, then it's also a hobby at that point.
Agreed.
And you need to get a job to bring income. And I think a lot of times, a lot of the stresses in this sport come from the people that do it with the expectations of they're going to make a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, especially we've talked about social media, but they don't. And I think a lot, and listen, and the problem is with the sport is you can actually be very successful in the sport and not make a lot of money. And
that's majority.
Yeah. And I don't, but what happens is I don't think a lot of people understand that when they're at the top of their game here in this sport, that because of just where the sport is as a whole, like I said before, bubblegum wrapper in a bubblegum factory, maybe one day bodybuilding will be a huge fucking sport, but right now it's just not, and that's okay. Which is why the money is where it is. Do I think the money should be higher? Yeah, I think you and everybody else could agree for what we do and what we put our bodies through and what we give this sport and the years we shave off our lives willingly, okay, to entertain people for a period of time. I don't think we get fucking nearly enough. And I think anybody would say that. I think even somebody that won Olympias would say that.
I agree.
And I know Olympias out there that have said that for a fact. So, but for you, being in that dark place, listen, there are people that are in that dark place. I know things that I've done when I get in dark places and how I pulled myself out. Now, you don't seem like the type of guy that's going to fucking do like go to a therapist. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, maybe you want to say it, maybe you don't. I don't really know. I was in therapy when I was married before, while we were going through our separation before we got a divorce. But as far as like therapy after that, no, I've never been. But like, I know you said like there's no specific time and day, but like, what would you say to somebody if they're, because I think a lot of people get in a rut, bro, and they're just like, I get the DMs a lot. Like, I'm stuck and I can't get out of it. Like how do I get motivated again? Like I'm depressed, or I let myself go. I can't get myself back, or I rebounded after a show, or like there's got to be something that you were able to do or take from being in that low place that helped you get out of it. And I know you said moving somewhere else and do what you want. Um, but was there a takeaway you could give people that might get to that low and try to get back to the fucking norm?
Honestly, I would. It's hard because everyone's different, right? So I would probably say, take a break. Stop thinking about it so much. Find a distraction for a little bit, and then revisit it. Like you don't stress yourself out so much over something. Like, and that's kind of what I did as well. Like I had to take a real step back and like
Meaning,
analyze.
like, when you say step back, do you mean like from like being so regimented of going to the gym at a certain time and eating this meal at
Yeah,
this time and
that's
doing this and being scheduled and being
like in prep, it's different. I
yeah,
like to, but in the off season, I'm not saying be carefree, but sometimes fuck it.
yeah,
Like it's okay if you want to take an extra day off, do it. It's probably gonna help you.
yeah,
If your girl or your friends say, "Yo, come out for the night," and you never ever go out, have fun for a night. It's
yeah,
not gonna fuck you up.
yeah,
You. I have also learned, as regimented and as strict as I am, especially at the level that I'm at, the relationships you have in your life are ones you want to keep.
yeah,
You As much as I love what I do, I'm at a point where the people in my life, I don't ever want to lose them over something that I can easily fix myself.
yes.
I have, the older I get, I'm like relationships, memories mean 10 times more.
What did we say the other day? We said this dude does this.
Yeah. I want to win as many Arnolds as I can. I want to win as many Olympias as I can. But at the end of the day, if it's going to affect the people around me to where it could jeopardize losing someone that's very important, I'll take a break.
Yeah,
I'm not going to worry about it. And that's just the truth.
yeah,
I'm not. I'm in a position where I'm happy right now. I love my life. I love where it's going, and I love the people that are in it. I have very trustworthy people in it. And if I decide to do a show and somebody that was very close to my was not on board, I'd be like, look, I'm cool. Like I don't need to do it. I can take a break. Like it's fine.
yeah.
That's what's important for me now.
What I think, and if people don't give me props, because I don't nearly cut you off as much as I do on other podcasts.
You
So
let me talk.
I do. So if one thing I've learned doing this fucking podcast with you is to let a motherfucker talk. All right.
I can go on for a minute.
You do, and it's shocking because I'm used to. I'm not. I mean, I'm used to you jibber jabbering on the phone and talking, but on a podcast, I'm used to fucking jumping in, and I'm like, I'm letting you go a little bit, and I'm like, oh, okay, Nick,
Be your fan, bro.
okay, Nick. But one thing you said, and I think people need to listen to what I'm about to say, is what you just said, right? People need to take a break. People need to love themselves more than bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And they don't.
And I think
love
they reached that point.
You have to, dude. I had a girl that I dated. And I talked to you about it. And she was so regimented.
Yeah.
And it was so detrimental to not only just the relationship, but every aspect of her life. And it was like cheat meal on this day, on this time. And it's like there was, it was like,
kind of how
no. Yeah, bro. But to the point where like during prep is one thing. Okay.
Right.
Not during prep, like where it would be like, hey, oh, your next meal is 4 ounces of red meat. I'll throw a steak on the grill and I'll throw extra and I'll give you some of my steak. No, I'll just eat my ground beef that I bought. Like, because I just want to be miserable and eat ground beef because
Yeah.
I don't want to eat my steak.
Yeah.
Like it's just like things like, and some people might be like, why does that matter? And it's just like, it doesn't. But in the off season, you need to feel a little bit of fucking normalcy, or you're going to drive yourself in fucking sane, and you're
Well,
going to drive yourself into a very, 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 very dark place.
and that's, and I think, I'll be honest, I think that's why me and Maria mesh very well, because we're pretty much the same. Like, we enjoy food, but we also, to a degree, might sound weird, but like, we want to earn it, right?
Yeah.
So we stay strict for a few days, and then, like, we go out, like I said, we'll go out, have a nice breakfast, then we'll go train, come home, chill, have a couple regular meals, and then plan where we're gonna go for a nice dinner, and then we just kind of repeat that process. But if one day during those 3 to 4 days we're strict, she's like, hey, I want Chipotle or something. Okay, let's go get Chipotle. I don't care, you know.
Did you see her paw me for
Yeah,
attention?
I did. Yeah, she hates on this podcast.
So Monday to Sunday, right? Give people a breakdown of how in an off season right now, you and Maria as a couple go about breaking up how you guys have your cheat meals and how you break up your schedule. Because I think that's very important. It comes from somebody who's one of the best in the world. Okay. I think, and who has a relationship and who've been in a relationship for enough time to where you guys live together.
Yeah.
I think it'd be important. Give people a breakdown of somebody who's so zoned in to what they do as one of the best in the world, but in the off season with your girlfriend, how do you break up your week Mondays through Sunday as far as like how you guys do your cheat meals and your training schedule, or date nights or whatever?
Yeah. So for me, because it was the post show, me personally, I took it a little more serious, just because your body's coming out of a very wacky way. So I wanted to make sure I was still very in the tune with that, and she understood that. So what I did was, I trained a 2 day on, 1 day on split.
Yeah.
That way I could still go decently hard, but incorporate a lot more rest. I kept cardio in pretty much every day. So on the 2 day on, 1 day off, we would pretty much stay strict. On leg days, which we would go out, have
Which
a
is
nice.
what, so leg day is not always falling on the same day because it's 2 days on, 1 day off.
It's always a different day.
So what was your split?
I would do chest and biceps, and then I would do back, rest, shoulders and triceps, legs, rest.
Okay.
So on the leg days, we would go out, have a nice big breakfast of her choice. I would let her choose. Or, we would be like, let's go here. This looks good, something. But I always wanted her to choose, because in for me, it was like, I don't mind not eating. I enjoy eating, but this is more for you. And I want you to be happy. Like, I just came out of a prep. You suffered for me. You pick the places.
So this is so breakfast is her pick.
Well, all of it. Even for
okay.
dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. And because even the gyms, like, I'll tell you right now, she hates LVAC. She fucking hates the vibe at LVAC. She don't like none of it. But because no one would really go to that gym that would, not to sound like an asshole, but bother me while I'm training, that was where that's where I would train. So after the show, I said, we'll train where you want to train. I don't care. And she likes it. Like Elevation, you were there.
Yeah.
Sweet, awesome gym. And then we would train at
you were at Dragon's Lair too, right?
I did train at Dragon's Lair. Yeah. But I love that gym, but it's just too packed, man. Close to the Olympia, it was too packed to go there.
Yeah.
That's
I was there during the Olympia. I mean, kudos to fucking Flex, but my Lord Jesus, it was packed.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There's mayhem in there.
So that's what we would do. And then once
where do you train now that the Olympia is over? Where's your main
honestly, like
are you a floater? Do you go do you do like Monday Dragon's Lair, Tuesday Elevation, Wednesday this one, Thursday?
Like that. So many good gyms out here, bro. It's what are you in the mood for?
Yeah, I hear that.
But then like we would have the breakfast, train, post meal, come home, have another regular meal. And then, we would like, it'd be like 5:36. So like, where do you want to go for dinner? And it'd be different. We went to Carmine's one night, which holy fuck, that was way too much food between the two of us. I know how large it was. I don't think she understood. Like I told her, this is fucking a lot of food.
It's
So we
family
got
style,
like
isn't it?
we got 45 fucking ounces of steak with potato, and then we got like a side of pasta. And
How
I'm
much
like,
of it did you leave?
we ate all the steak.
What?
Yeah, I ate all the steak. Well, she maybe had about 5 to 6 ounces.
Your butthole had a stink.
I shit all day the following day, bro.
Oh man, we have to make like some sort of sound. That was the first butthole talk of this entire podcast, episode
Bro,
2.
all night. She'd be like, Nick, your farts woke me up during my sleep.
Sound like you're starting an engine with no oil in it.
And she can sleep through anything. And I'm like, I didn't wake the fuck up. I'm good.
And protein farts are the worst too, because they just all out just smell.
But that was a lot of fucking food, man. But that was good. But other.
So you do that. So you do that twice a week or once a week?
Well, whatever late day. Well, the all out, all you can eat. We would only do on late days. We do 2 cheats on one day, on the late day, and then we would obviously get back on the diet for like a day or two, and then say we're out somewhere, right? It's an off day, and we're out at the outlets, so we're doing this. There's a lot of shit to do around here, and she's like, I want Shake Shack. I'm like, well, let's go get Shake Shack. I might not eat it because I got a meal pack, but I'll sit down and enjoy it. I can do that. It don't bother me. I don't care. And we would do that.
That's okay, but I'm going to say something that's important because I think a lot of couples need to hear this. It was okay because Maria allowed it to be okay, because a lot of times in that situation, I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
And I've been in that situation where I've had my meal with me and I want to have my meal, and the woman has gotten pissed off and they go, well, I want you to enjoy this meal with me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Maria gets like that sometimes, but I told her, I said, look, I have no problem bending anything for you. You want to do this, you want to do that, I don't care. I said, just let me train, let me get my training in. And I said, when I want to get my meals in, let me get my meals in. I said, well, I'll eat. If I want to eat with you, I'll join you. If I have a meal packed and you want to eat somewhere, I have no problem sitting down and eating my food while you eat your food. And she's fine with it. She don't care.
But what I'm saying is that I've been in your shoes, and a lot of times I've been barked at.
Well, yeah,
for having my.
Why are you so strange?
Yeah, but the point is that if it's not a planned thing and you have your food with you, what people don't understand is that for me, right? At least for me, I eat fairly fucking good 95% of the fucking time.
Yeah.
And when I eat, if I'm out somewhere and I eat like shit, first of all, when I go out to a restaurant, if I'm eating like at a restaurant or I'm having a burger and fries, there's a fucking very good chance that I'm taking a shit before I leave that restaurant, because I don't fare well. Well, hold on. I don't hold on. I don't fare well with. So if I'm out somewhere, all right, and like I'm like, you know what? I'd rather eat my clean food because I know my fucking fart shit separator will save it until I get home, and I won't fail out in fucking the mall in Baby Gap, right?
Bro, yeah. So we would go to our favorite breakfast place, Sunny Side Up. After every time we eat, because where we would train either at Elevation for legs, or the way was Lift Factory. So we'd go to either or.
Okay.
So after we're done eating, we'll sit in the restaurant for a good 45 minutes to an hour, just bullshitting. And every time I'm like, whoop, it hit me. And luckily, Sunny Side Up, their bathroom, it's one bathroom.
Oh.
No, that's good for me. So I feel comfortable. I shut the door.
But not if you got to wait for a line.
I get butt naked and I squat, take my nice poop.
Wait, so hold on, time out. So because I've been made fun of. So because, and this is funny because I get to interrupt now. After I just tap myself on the back for not interrupting. In public, I take my underwear and my pants off.
I'm butt naked, bro.
I don't take my shirt off in public.
Well, I'm butt naked.
In public.
Yeah, I fold it.
Wait, hold on. I take my pants and my underwear off.
Only if it's a single toilet. Like
no, I'm in a stall. If I'm at an airport,
yeah,
in a stall, my underwear and my shorts or pants come completely off, and they're hung up. But my shirt stays on.
I'll keep my shirt on then. But if I'm in a bathroom by myself, I get fully naked.
What? How high up does your butt crack start that your shirt's got to come off?
I just feel comfortable, man.
So okay, so good.
Even at home, I poop naked.
Oh no! Listen, at home, if I had to poop right now, I would open up the door, and before I made it down the hallway, my shorts would be in the middle of the hallway, and I'd be butt naked walking. Yeah, 100%.
Every morning, get up. I know what's gonna happen. My shorts are off,
right off. Yep.
Right to the toilet.
100%. Yep.
But after every breakfast we have there, I take a nice long 15-minute poop. I'm like, all right, I feel great. Time to train.
Yeah, but see what happens is if a lot, like for me, that will be the reason why I wouldn't eat Shake Shack if I was out somewhere, because I'm like, and I had a meal with me. But sometimes what I'm saying is to the couples out there, if the guy's willing to stop and watch you eat food and he has a meal packed, be appreciative that he is stopping and eating with you with his meal, and don't worry about whether he's having a burger or not. The fact that you guys are there together and having the point is to have a meal together. Yeah. It's not you guys aren't fucking like
burger. I'm eating ground beef.
Yeah, this isn't fucking Lady and the Tramp. You guys aren't sucking a noodle and kissing. Like you guys are eating a meal together. Like grow up, you know?
Like there's different incidents, right? So like I remember the one like day we had, which is actually was the Carmine night. So the next day, I think was an off day. So we got on diet, chilled, and then the next day was New Year's Eve. So we got invited to go to Mark Anthony's and Jen Dory's house for a nice dinner to start the New Year's. I knew it was gonna be a cheap meal, so I remember I said to Maria, I'll eat the meal, but I'm not having dessert. I don't want dessert. And she's like, come on, like you can have. I'm like, no, I had the meal, no dessert, bro. I ended up being the one that ate the most dessert. Yeah, I just said fuck it. Like,
was it? What did you just not care, or was it just that good?
I was so hungry, and it was so good. I'm just like, fuck it.
What was it? Shout out to Mark Anthony and Jen Dory.
So his wife, Jen, cooked us a wonderful steak. Nice potatoes, mushrooms, asparagus. It was a healthy dinner. Like it's fine. So that was fantastic. And then they brought the dessert out. She made these gluten-free brownies, bro, but they were phenomenal brownies. And then they had this.
Were they brownies or were they brownies?
No, they were just brownies, you retard. But then Mark went to this ice cream place that I fell in love with. It's called Sorry Not Sorry.
Okay.
It's where they had to do like different jumbo flavors. Like one was like a blueberry cheesecake. One was like an oatmeal rum. One was.
It sounds like a Cold Stone, right?
Better, bro. Better. Way better.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
They have that around here. Sorry, not sorry.
No, it's only in Vegas, bro. Yeah. But then what else did they have? I think that was it, dessert-wise. So I remember I ate it all. Oh, we had crumble cookie. I forgot. We got crumble cookie. Destroyed the crumble cookies. And then we each got a bowl. Jen put like her brownies in it. We started putting ice cream on top of it. And I demolished this, bro. And I'm like really fucking hungry.
And then what happens is your insulin spikes and then your appetite goes woof.
So Jen's like, do you want more brownies? I said, I'll take one more. She goes, okay.
I'll do one.
She fills the bowl up. And I'm like, I didn't say nothing, but I'm like, I just wanted one.
Because your brain's telling you no, and your stomach's like, eat it.
But I fucking I poured more ice cream on top and devoured it.
Dude,
I'm like, fuck it. I'm post show. My body needs this.
that's what I'm saying. The post show rebound fucking binges where that like are they're like the unannounced, not planned binges when like you're eating good, and you're like, I'm just gonna have a meal, and then all of a sudden it's like one chocolate chip fucking accidentally like
Game,
raises your fucking lip, and
game.
you're like, is that sugar? Is
And then you just want more.
and then you just fucking rabbit hole
More.
it and just fucking just
Yeah,
straight
but
up and
it
down
was
kill it.
so like the atmosphere, right? You're around good people, you're having fun, and
Yeah,
you're just fuck this shit.
yeah.
And you don't even care. And then I remember I get curious. I always see how much I gain the next day.
Yep.
I only put on a pound.
That's crazy.
I was
Because
like,
you probably started cranking your metabolism.
I'm gonna fucking do it again.
But see, that's good. I like because all the things you're saying are about like being around people, doing things that make you happy, doing things that make you smile, doing things that make you laugh, and I feel like when you're in the industry where you're judged so much about your body, I think it can do a real number on you, especially when you know our job is to put ourselves out there on social media. So I've never been like I've never been one to be depressed about um anything having to do bodybuilding related. To be honest with you, it was hard for me to walk away from bodybuilding. Um,
Right.
but I don't think that was I was more it was more upset than depressed, right? Um, because I accepted what I had to do, so
Mhm.
I wasn't really it wasn't a depression about it because I knew that there was other things that I could do, but it was just the wanting of not wanting to stop competing yet. But there have been times in my life specifically where certain thoughts have crossed my mind about, like driving home. Like you just get so upset and you're like, I just want to drive my fucking car into this telephone pole.
Yeah, bro.
But the difference is that thinking it, having that thought, it is okay. The problem is following through with that thought is the not okay part, and those are the people that are the true people that I think have a mental illness and really are the people that need to seek help. And but regardless, being in either one of those places and having those thoughts are scary regardless. And it's and to see somebody and see the things that Callum went through and hear some of the things he said. I mean, it's fucking scary because it makes you think, just like we talk about all the people that promote how great the relationships are on social media, right? How many times have we seen all these people post on social media how great the relationships are, how oh, this is my fucking other half, ride or die, fucking, my WCW, MCM. And then next thing you know,
No,
who's dick's in another vagina and who's vagina on somebody else's face. So, it's like it's the same kind of fucking facade that I think we put on. And um,
exactly.
and I think it's people have to understand that it's so like I've posted and one thing that I've always been I've always been or I've always tried to do has been real. Like I posted me screaming at people in front of a squat rack. I posted videos of me with tears in my eyes. I posted me fucking smiling, hugging, congratulating. I posted me failing. I posted me succeeding. And I think if people
It was
stop
hard.
trying to just live on with the first place gold medal around their neck with everything that they did and was a little more real and accepted the fact that failing is part of life and being second place sometimes is part of life and um you know not looking perfect and sometimes looking out of shape and being your because everybody's form of ugly and fat in it is a lot of times not really what it is in the public eye, right? Like if I say I look like shit, my buddy's like, shut up, stop, you look fucking fine.
Of course, of
um
course.
you know that's my buddy's Joe voice. um but I just I saw that, man. It made me think. It made me think about the amount of people. It made me bring back to the people that we lost to mental illness, and it just made me think about how prevalent it really is. And, I don't know. It just made me really think and I don't know if there's avenues out there. I mean, I'm sure there's 1,000 avenues out there, for, for people to talk to, but, I've said it before in interviews, like, even if you got to reach out to one of us and just talk, man, just talk to somebody,
All go,
because,
you know,
huh?
we all go through certain shit, and for me, I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So I don't regret anything that happened within, this past year, because I think everything happened for a certain reason, which led me to this point in my life. And
Yeah.
I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I'm, like I said, I'm a firm believer of, things they happen for a reason. And I think everything that happened led me to this point. And I'm the happiest I've ever been, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think people have to understand that too, is whatever's happened in your past before doesn't determine who you are, um, in the near future. And listen, um, there's been a lot of failure. Oh, listen, there's been a lot of failure in your life at some points. Been a lot of fucking failure in my life. And with failure, you can't succeed if you don't fail, right? Because you're never going to succeed the first time. So there's always going to be failure, sprinkled in, amongst, all our successes. So, the thing is this, is that we're only here for a very short period of time. And, I have my own demons, and I think we all do. And, I think at the end of the day, it's sad to think that, people would try to do something regardless of how dark the place they got, but it's hard to empathize with somebody when you've never been in a place where you've actually almost done something like that. So,
Yeah.
especially to see somebody, like Colin, who I know, or somebody that, somebody like Luke, or somebody that, personally, who's going through, a time, and then they end up, taking their own life, and doing something themselves. It's really rough to see. So, I was seeing a lot of the calm stuff, and it was just bringing to light a lot of just things that I was thinking of, because I've been faced with people in my life with suicide, and I've been involved in certain things, with certain incidents with certain people.
Mhm.
Um, and it's sad, in a way, but it's relieving when you see people turn the corner. And, some of the things that Colin was saying, were very relieving to see. So I'm glad to see that he's doing, um much better. But, this was just, I just wanted to kind of hear your aspect, because I remember when we talked on the phone after last year's Olympia. I remember you telling me that, we were talking, and you were like, dude, I was not fucking, you're like, I was not with it. And
I
that's what
was.
it made me think. Cause I remember times in my life where I just wasn't with it. And I remember you telling me, like, bro, it was not a fucking good, like, it was not good.
It was really bad.
And you'll say it too. When you're not good like that, you don't make good decisions,
You know.
because you're not happy with any aspect of your life. So you're making bad impulsive decisions. And I say impulsive because they're impulsive due to the time of the manner in which the decision's being made, right? So
Agreed.
it's crazy. Um, so yeah, just fucking listen. We're in a world where we post so much goddamn shit on social media. Okay, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, there are so many people at everybody's fucking fingertips, that nobody out there should ever feel like they don't have somebody to talk to, with the amount of people that are at everybody's fingertips every single day. So that's just kind of the point that I wanted to make. We are all, if you guys are on YouTube, there's a good chance you guys are on social media, and there is always going to be, I don't care what anybody fucking thinks, there's always going to be somebody that's going to fucking listen to you guys, if you reach out. Because I listen, and you guys could sit here and say, well, Nick doesn't answer all his DMs, or Guy doesn't answer all his DMs, but at the end of the fucking day, it's hard for certain people to answer all their DMs, because when you get thousands a day and you're a fucking one man show, shit ain't easy. But my
Yeah.
point is that if you need somebody, reach out, and somebody will answer you. There will be somebody there to talk to. Social media is so big that everybody will. There's always going to be somebody there for somebody to talk to, and that's just kind of my point. Um, So I didn't think we'd dive that deep. Christ, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. So I didn't mean to get so fucking deep today, but I think that was important. I think the mental game in bodybuilding, and me and you both been in different spots, you know, you know, and I'll speak briefly, you know, the darkest kind of moments with me, which I think you would know was came when it was the combination of the George, well, I would not George, it was John, George, Sean, right? Like that was fucking rough for me.
Yeah, very.
And people kind of saw, I think, like the up and down with me, because I got like, if you anybody watched like the me and the Sean Ray incident, like I was like I that would have been like a bad day if like on certain days, like if I was in front of Sean, like it would have been bad, because I was in such a fucking angry, dark place. Like it was bad,
Yeah.
scary at times, but you have to understand that, like, dude, at the end of the day, Sean not being here, George not being here, John not being here, or, you know, this one, you know, that we lost, or, you know, this one that took his life, like at the end of the fucking day, there's nothing I can do. Nothing. And I said this to somebody the other day, because somebody reached out to me about this topic, and I said, your job as their friend, anybody going through, you know, somebody that maybe lost somebody, and it's hard, your job, right, as their friend, is to remember them in a light and portray them in the way in which you want the public to remember them. And if you're doing that, then you'll never forget them. And that's kind of just how you have to fucking live it. And that's it. You know, so for me, it was hard for me to get over that, because it wasn't because it was I lost somebody, but it was, you know, anybody that knows me, people, you know, people are always like, oh, Guy knows everybody. And it's true. I know everybody. I knew Cedric. I knew Luke. I knew Dallas. I mean, if you sit and if you look around in my podcast room, I mean, you got George right there. You got Dallas right there. You got John right there. You have Luke right there. I mean, I have a wall. I have hundreds of pictures around me, and a lot of these guys aren't even around me anymore. You know, just sit in a podcast room where some of the people hanging behind me, hearts don't beat no more, is a scary fucking feeling. You know? So, and to have it happen one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, the way it did the past 2 years, you know, put you in a dark place. And the dark place isn't more so, why am I here? It is today my day.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the scary part. And that's been the scary part to me. But, you know, and it took me a while to get out of that fucking funk. It really did. That was one of the hardest funks to get me out of, because I was having a hard time sleeping at night, because anybody that knows how these guys died understands the circumstances in which they passed. And, you know, when you're 40 years old and all these guys, you know, George was fucking 37, for Christ's sakes, you know? So you hear that stuff, and, you know, being a 40-year-old bodybuilder who's, you know, been doing certain things for a certain period of time, it's scary, man, you know? But at the end of the day, you just kind of, like I said, you make peace with it, and you just keep on keeping on, and you got to just keep fucking having fun, living life, because at the end of the day, it could be right. It could be fucking 5 minutes after we hang up this podcast, or it could be fucking, you know, 50 years from now, but at some point it's going to happen. So until then, just fucking got to keep on doing it with a smile, bro.
Smile away.
That's it. Smile and wave. That's what Sean used to say. So we're going to end on that note. That's a great note to end on. So smile and wave. We're going to end there. That's a great note. So, I don't know. We got a little deep today, a little emotional. And I think that's good. I think people need to see that side. I think we talk about bodybuilding and posing and leg pressing more than we do about the emotional side of things. So I think it was good to dig on that. You know, somebody asked me today, they're like, you know, you guys going to bring guests on? I was like, maybe at one point, you know, bring guests, but I think the Guy and Nick kind of love saga needs to come to fruition a little more, and people need to understand a little bit more about who me and you are. And I think they're doing that, and I'm loving every minute of it. So for episode number 2 of Mutant in the Mouth, myself and co-host Nick Walker. Until next time, we are signing off. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Subscribe, like, comment below. Myself and Nick We both comment on there. Mutant in the Mouth YouTube page is run by myself and Nick. Tony, the videographer, I told him he's going to make his own comment section, and he's going to be the one commenting to you guys, because he was trying to comment with the Mutant in the Mouth page, and I go, listen here, Tony. I said, nobody's going to know who's who. I go, so people are going to think you're commenting and you're me. I said, so we can't have that?
No.
Huh? Yeah, now they know. I had to let everybody know. And eventually, obviously, me and Nick will be having sponsored ads and this and that. But I know Nick wants to shout out sponsors. I believe it's HD Muscle, Young LA. I'm trying to think who Mega Fit Meals.
Yeah.
And then obviously you guys know Gas Better Bodies, Blackstone Labs, Cardillo, Fuel Chef, all my homies, Versa Grips. Love each and every one of you guys. So until next time, we're signing off. Nick, don't go anywhere. But season 1, don't shake your head, Joe. It's my fucking listen. It's like when I watch Chicago Fire or Chicago PD. They got season 1 episode. You're such an asshole. All right. So signing off. This is episode number 2, Mutant in the Mouth. Myself, Nick Walker. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, comment, and we are out. Assalamu alaikum.